Coming to a comfortable seat on the centres of the sitting bones. Spine reaching up tall. Let's just take 10 slow breaths to get started. Brilliant, and then we'll gently make our way to a standing position in the front half of the mat, standing nice and tall. Pull the tummy in, lengthen the waist. We'll move through our sun salutations as usual. So inhale, raise the hands, stretch high, and exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine, and exhale, step back, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Next, inhale, bring the feet to the hands, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, come up, and exhale to standing. Good, next one, inhale, raise the hands, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up, long back, exhale, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, draw the chest forward, keep the shoulders low for upward facing dog, and exhale, come back to downward facing dog for 5 breaths. And then with the inhale, feet to hands, lengthen that spine, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, and exhale to standing. Next one, inhale, raise the hands, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen, exhale, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. And let's raise the right leg. Inhale, feet to hands, halfway up, long back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up. And exhale to standing. Fourth one, inhale, raise the hands, maybe a back bend. Flowing with the breath, we fold forwards, find that nice hamstring stretch. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, chaturanga-dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll raise the left leg, spread the toes, pull the tummy in. Inhale, feet to hands, halfway up, long back. Exhale, forward fold. So if you can put your thumbs next to your little toes. And then inhale, stretch up. And exhale to standing. Brilliant. Last one. Inhale, raise the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. With your next inhale, step or jump to the hands, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold. Thumbs beside the little toes. Inhale, come up, and exhale to standing. Good job. So let's move along to Surya Namaskar B. So bending the knees. Inhale, come to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes if you can to get to your downward facing dog. Then inhale, right foot forward, left foot flat, stay quite low as you reach up with the hands. And then exhale, back to chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And inhale, left foot forward, right foot flat. This is warrior A. Steer the right hip forwards. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. With your next inhale, step or jump, feet to hands, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold. See if you can rest the rib cage onto the thighs, then bend the knees. Inhale, lift up the hands, and exhale, straighten. Good. Next one. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left foot flat, warrior. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right foot flat, warrior. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Pull the tummy in. See if you can spiral the upper arms in towards one another and activate the shoulders. Then inhale, feet to hands, lengthen, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, inhale, lift the hands, Exhale, straighten. Next one. Chair pose. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot stepping forward for warrior A. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot stepping forward, warrior A. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And the option to raise the right leg, bend the knee, drop the foot over. And then inhale, feet to hands, halfway up, long back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift the hands. And exhale, straighten. Next one. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left foot flat. Warrior. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right foot flat. Keep a nice lunge in that front knee. And then exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we can raise the left leg. And then inhale, feet to hands, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, inhale, lift the hands, and exhale, straighten. And then last one. Chair pose. Forward fold. Lengthen the spine. Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows in. Upward facing dog, low shoulders. Roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Right foot forwards, warrior A. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot forwards, warrior A. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale, feet to hands. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift up the hands. And exhale, straighten up. Well done, good stuff. Let's just come back to a standing forward bend. Turning the pelvis over. Finding that hamstring stretch. Slow, steady breathing, let the head dangle down. And then bending the knees as much as you want to, slide the hands under the fronts of the feet. exhale, release. And then just have a go at bringing them around behind and underneath the heels. Again, bend the knees if you want to. And again, gently release. And then roll our way up to standing. Shaking anything that needs a little shake, and then we'll come into our tree pose. So just bringing the weight onto the right foot, turn the left knee out to the side, find your balance. Foot can be against the calf or the thigh muscle. And then when you're ready, just very gently, staying in control, just let that foot come down to the ground, come standing one, and then find this pose on the other side. Brilliant. Then we'll release that one. And we'll just take a little modification of there, a bit more of an external rotation of the hip and a squat in the standing leg. A little bit fun. So bring the weight onto the right foot, cross the left ankle above and in front of the knee of that standing leg. Just bring the hands together. Let that knee fall out to the side for the external rotation of the hip. And then see if you can slowly lower. So you're bending that knee. Sit down as low as you can. And then when you're ready, just have a little go on the other side. And release. Good job. So give those legs a little shake. While we're on some strength in the legs, let's do goddess pose. So nice wide stance with the toes turned out. We'll interlace the fingers and push the palms up. And then we'll just allow those knees to bend. We're keeping the body straight and tall. Just bending at the knees. Brilliant. Let's just gently release. We'll come to wide leg standing forward bend. So we're just going to have the toes pointing forwards. Still a nice wide stance. Inhale, raise the hands. And exhale, holding the back out straight. Find your forward fold. Walk the hands as far forward as you need. yourself up, stretch up high. Exhale, hands onto hips. Inhale, lift the chest, so a long line from the belly button up to the chin. And as you fold over, feel those hips fold down towards the thighs, hold the back out straight, pull the tummy in. Inhale, come up, stretch high, and then exhale, bring the hands down behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another, and with the exhale, just find that lovely forward fold, and maybe the shoulders twizzle in their sockets. Inhale, come up, stretch the hands high, and exhale, bring them now onto the fronts of the thighs. Inhale, lift the chest again, this long line, keep it long, fold forwards, hands slide down. Maybe pull a little. If you want to try the twist, a slightly narrower stance, cross the hands, left arm in front, and then ducking under that left arm, let's turn into the twist. And then the other way, so the right arm comes in front. And then we can walk our way back to a downward facing dog. Take any little wiggles here. And then we'll walk those feet forwards a little bit and find our way into half moon balance. So we want this right hand to be underneath the right shoulder. You might bring a hand up onto a block or fingertips. And then we're just going to see if we can open to the side. And then revolving version, so just bringing that left hand down and rotating the rib cage to the right side. Keep lifting the left leg. And then we'll come back to a standing forward bend. Let's just catch hold of the elbows and dangle. And then we'll find our half moon balance with the left hand and the left foot on the floor. Right leg reaches up, right hip turns up and open towards the sky. And then we'll just take that around to the other side. and release. Let's come into a child's pose. Fold the legs underneath, sit back onto the heels, and the forehead tumbles down to the ground. Okay, good stuff. So it's time for our plank challenge. So let's just come into our side plank. So we want the left hand under the left shoulder, the feet stacked, and we're trying to hold this for 9 breaths. Then we're going to do 9 breaths in regular plank, and then 9 breaths in a side plank on the other side. You can do this on the bent arm with the elbow on the floor if you want to. So count this nice, slow, steady breath. So changing to middle plank round about now. And then side plank on the other side. And then we can come back to child's pose for a little rest. Good stuff. So just roll your way up and we'll just have a look at the squat. So bringing the feet flat onto the floor, heels down. We're just trying to sit up comfortably. Now it's a bit easier if you have your feet wider and the toes turned out. But if you've been practicing this a while, you'll want to try and bring your feet a little closer in and have the toes pointing forwards, just to challenge yourself a little bit. So just try and notice which part of you is complaining, whether it's the ankles, the knees, the hips, perhaps the muscles at the fronts of the shins. That's certainly what I feel in this pose. And then we can point the hands forwards, gently put the bottom down, bring the soles of the feet together for cobbler's pose. So just finding the centres of the sitting bones and letting the knees fall out to the side. And trying to bring your attention just to what you're experiencing in the moment. The physical sensations of the posture, the movement of the breath, and the sounds around you. we'll just let one leg slide out straight. So we find ourselves in seated tree with this other knee falling out to the side. And if you want to, you can move from seated tree into half lotus. So you just pick up that foot and see if it wants to sit on top of the leg with the heel nestling right up by the hip bone. And from here, if you want to, you could add a little bit of forward lean, maybe swallowing that foot into the body. Good stuff. So just very gently coming up, and we can have a go at just picking up that leg very gently and cradling it like a baby and just massaging that hip in its socket. So you can do that whether you are in seated tree or half lotus. You can just bring a little bit movement into that hip joint, which is of course a ball and socket joint, so it should have quite a lot of movement. And then for fun, you can maybe see whether that foot wants to come up over the arm or over the shoulder. And from here, we can try our little lift. So hands come to the floor and we press and lift. Good stuff. So let's have a little go at those on the other side. So let the bent leg come out straight. Draw the other foot in, either to the inside of the thigh for seated tree, or on top of the thigh for half lotus. And we can take plenty of time to find these postures. We don't want to shove ourselves into any shape. We're always exploring what we have. Slow, steady breathing, noticing the sensations. Gently walking the hands back in if you folded forwards, and we can have a go at picking up that leg, keeping this knee joint closed and just exploring the movement of the hip in the socket. And then we can just see whether that leg wants to come up and have a go at the lift. And release. Let's slide both legs out straight. Seated forward bend. Inhale, raise the hands. Locking the arms and the body into a straight line, and then angling that line into a diagonal. So here we're trying to keep our back straight, chest coming forwards. So we're not doing this, but we're doing this. And then just gently roll yourself back onto the centers of the sitting bones. The body will come back to the vertical, and we can release the arms. Let's just bring the foot flat onto the floor, letting one knee bend up, and we're just going to turn into a little twist, gentle one. Let's tag the arm across, rotate the rib cage, and look out over the back shoulder. stuff. So we'll just simply swap sides and turn in towards that knee. And then we'll just gently come out, let the legs slide out straight, give the shoulders a little wiggle, and then we'll come down onto the back. So just placing the hands on the floor beside the hips, we'll press the feet into the ground and just lift up and see whether you want to come up by onto the shoulders, tucking them underneath you. And then we'll gently release, hugging the knees in. And we'll just try that again and see how high you want to lift. Maybe you want to bring the hands underneath the rib cage this time. And again, gently release, hug the knees in. And then we'll take one last back bend. And we'll release. Good stuff. So once again, let's hug those knees in. And then we'll let those feet float into the air. Gentle inversion. Or if you want to roll your way up into a shoulder stand, go right ahead, rolling the hips away from the ground, walking the hands down either side of the spine in the direction of the shoulder blades. Try to tuck the shoulders underneath, walk the elbows in towards one another. And then we can gently begin to roll our way out. And we'll just take a little fish pose. So just bringing the hands underneath the bottom but with the palms on the ground. We'll cross the ankles, press the elbows into the floor, and keeping the crown, the top, back of the head on the floor, we're just lifting the chest. Gently releasing and making your way into Shavasana.